Hey everybody, this is Sue Craig, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Cleveland, Ohio. And today I have a fun fold for you. I originally saw this on Dawn Griffith's blog and really loved it. So I made it for classes this week and I want to show you how it's done. This is the card that we're going to make. And it opens this way, which I thought was pretty cool. But then you can flip it on the back and have a message on the back as well. So thank you, Dawn. I'm going to take your idea, and I used my colors and things, and let me show you how this is going to be done. We're going to be using the stamp set Balloon Festoon. This comes with a lot of dies. I did not get the dies, but they're layered dies that are all balloons. There are other things too, but the balloons get to be a pretty good size. You can make, not banners, but yeah, you can string them together to make words and hang them, you know, from the wall or whatever to make words like shower or baby or whatever you want. Anyway, they can also work down to scrapbook size and card size. So a lot of people would be able to use these. I liked it because it has the little elements that you can either put on your background, you can put it on the balloon, has long string. We're going to be using a lot of these today, so I'll show you how that's done. And this is from the May to August catalog. This is how I use my stamps. I take my Sharpie marker and on the thick plastic, I trace around the stamp so that I know when stamps are missing and where they go when I put them away. Most times too, I put packing tape on the end so that I can just pull the light thin side down and fold it back on itself so I'm not having to search for this thin piece. That's just me, but keeps me from hunting all over my desk for that little piece of plastic. All right, let's take a look at what we're going to be using today. We're going to be using a 4 1/4 by 11-inch base for our card, and I'm going to show you, after I show you all the elements we're going to need, I'll show you how to score it and everything like that. But I'm going to be using Pretty in Pink. Trying to use up some designer paper. So my designer paper here is 2 1/2 by 4, and I have 2 pieces. Let's see. I have 2 pieces of white that we're going to be stamping the balloons on. And these 2 pieces of white are 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. We're going to be using those, so I'm going to leave those out. The yellow pieces are what we're going to be putting our white pieces on. And so these pieces are 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. Then I have 2 pieces of white, and both of them are the same size. They are 4 by 5 1/4. Now one is going to be for the inside of our card, just to give you something that will help your images stand out and your yellow here stand out. And one of them will be for the very back. Okay. So we're going to be needing one of the white ones out. I'll put that one away, and this white one. And I'm going to just set these on my mat here while I show you how we're going to work this paper. So I said our paper is 4 1/4 by 11. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on the 11-inch side. I got to scoot it over just a little bit. And on that, we are going to score at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 is our typical halfway point for this size card, so that it will close in the middle. All right. And 2 3/4 is half of that. So I'm going to back this up, and at 2 3/4, it's going to get scored. And we want to make sure we're scoring and not cutting. All right, and the 5 1/2. Now, we're going to turn it, and we're going to take off 1 inch on each side. So I'm going to line up at the 1 inch mark over here on the right. All right. And I am going to cut down to this score line. Now you can't see it, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just fold these back a little so you can kind of see. So there's really not a mystery here. You're just going to cut, which I already have, all the way down to your score line. Okay, so it's not difficult math. You've already measured that, so you don't even have to look at the side to do this. Now, you could also come back this way and measure 1 inch. Same thing. You're just going to take this and cut it down to your score line. That's pretty easy. This is how I left it for my classes so that they could see how this came to be. Because sometimes it's hard to visualize when I tell them something. Sometimes it's hard to visualize how it was before they got it. Okay. I'm going to scoop this up so we don't have the light in the way there. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut these 1 inch strips off. Okay. You can use these for whatever you want. We're not using them on this card, but they might, you know, they look like they're a nice size. We could use them for sentiments or layering. So we'll put those off to the side. So now we have this for our card. Here is the middle of our card. You can see that this reaches to the end. And what I like to do is to fold it forwards and backwards with my bone folder and make it so that it is easy to move forward and backward, because this is going to be a hinge on our card. So we want it to be easy to move. So we're going to set this off to the side, and it will end up going this way so that you can open it like a book. Okay. All right, let's move this guy back in so you can see where we're going with our stamping. So we're going to start with the balloons. And we're going to stamp balloons on each of these sheets. And what I told my ladies in class is it's easier because we get distracted. We talk. It's easier to lay your pieces out the way that you're going to be stamping on them. So that way when you're stamping, you don't really have to be thinking about, now what direction does this go? And a lot of times people are not thinking. They just talk and stamp. So this makes it easy. So we're going to take, this is the back, so I'm going to put 1 stamp of each color on that one. And on these, let me scoot this over a little because I do want to show you. This, you don't need to worry about where it's going. I did some that were high, some that were in the middle, some that were low, and I kind of varied where they were. And really it doesn't matter because you're going to have 3 different colors that you use to make these. So it's not really going to matter. So now that was Daffodil Delight. Now we're going to use Pretty in Pink. And again, this is the back, so I want to put 3 balloons on there. It really doesn't matter where these go, like I said. And you can have partial balloons like this. It's all good. This is a no stress kind of stamping, you know? All right, and now the next color I chose was Hydrangea Hue. Did you know that you can do a search for colors that are nice that work together? For instance, I did Daffodil Delight and Pretty in Pink. So I did a Google search and I said, what color goes well? What Stampin' Up! Color goes well with Daffodil Delight and Pretty in Pink? And it gave me a list of different colors. And that's a nice place to start. Sometimes it's very accurate and sometimes it is not accurate at all. It is off. But like I said, it gives you a place to start, and it gives you ideas of what could you try. It will also give you alcohol marker colors. So if I said I have a Daffodil Delight and a Pretty in Pink, but I don't have Hydrangea Hue, what could I use instead of it that's a Stampin' Up! Blends marker? It would search and tell me what are some different things that I could use. So I liked that idea a lot. Now we're going to add, I'm going to do this because we're going to be stamping off. For me, it was easier to put the strings on the balloons, doing it sideways. And I'm using Smoky Slate. No, I'm not. I'm using Gray Granite. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get the balloon. This stamp has a little nub on the end and it matches the balloons here, and you can have it go whichever way you want. But like I said, I found that it was easy for me just to do it sideways like that. And you can have it go over balloons or behind balloons, whatever you want to do. Like some of these, I cut them off, so it's not going to work putting a string on it if there's nothing to put the string on. But I'll tell you, I liked the gray color instead of black because that helped it kind of blend in. You see that it's there, but it blends in instead of kind of taking over the spotlight, where I want the balloons to do that, not the string. It doesn't really matter, but you'll see we used black for the sentiments, and so that's really going to pop. So I didn't want to have any competition with that. So now we're going to be doing the sentiments. So we'll take out our black ink. It does not matter what goes on what. You could put these anywhere you want. I just happen to do hip hip hooray, enjoy your day, because it rhymed. And then happy birthday. But you can mix it up and do happy birthday first. It doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead with our black. Hip hip hooray. Oh, we don't need that again. All right. Now we're going to do enjoy your day. I like the bold font on this. This is a nice font too. And you notice it's different fonts. And on the back, I'm going to do happy birthday. These fonts were just very, very pleasing to the eye. All right, that's our stamping that's done. Now we're going to just put it together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start, let's see, let's take these out of the way. I'm going to start with the very back of the card. And I'm going to put happy birthday on there. And you can do, you know, whatever you want. This probably would look just very cute with the confetti. But when I do cards for class, I have to consider that, you know, this has to go around 3 times because there's 3 different colors in one stamp. So I have to, you know, keep in mind how much time it's going to take. So sometimes, you know, I don't get to add those little extras like the confetti, but that would really be a cute thing to put on it. So now I want to put these on, and these are going to be layered on my cardstock. So I'm going to take my yellow cardstock. When you're working with your cardstock, I don't know if you've noticed, when you cut it, there is one side, you know, when you're cutting that you can see that it's been cut, and it seems, I don't know, not ragged, but it seems like it's been cut. If you look on the other side, it kind of goes over a little bit, like it seems smooth. So I usually look for that when I'm going to mount things on my cardstock so that it has that really nice finished look. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to put this on. Same thing here. You know, it really doesn't matter, but sometimes it just gives it a more finished look when you do it that way. Okay, we have those two. We can put our white piece on the inside. I want to show you, here's what Enjoy Your Day would look like. It looks fine that way. I mean, it's going to go in, it's going to end up being over here. Let me show you with the white inside how it looks, and you can decide for yourself what you like better. But I liked the white inside. It helps it make it look finished. So I gave my ladies in class a choice. You know, you don't have to add that. You can leave it off if you want. So we're going to just add this in here. All right. Now we're going to take our designer paper, and this is our door, and we're going to put paper on the front door and the inside door. So I'm just going to add my paper on the inside, and before I put this paper on, you'll see on here I have wrapped the ribbon around the designer paper. That way I'm saving ribbon. I could wrap it around the whole piece here, but that uses a lot more ribbon, and it's just a way to help you save your money and your ribbon. So what I did was I put adhesive a little on each end, and I also put a little bit in the middle so it would grab in the middle. So as long as this is over the edge, it's going to be fine. Okay, so you put it where you want it. Wrap the edge around. Wrap the edge. And you can see this has already been glued down because I put a little bit of adhesive there, and wrap that around. I guess one thing I did not tell you is how long that ribbon was. Gosh, this is a piece that is 4 inches, and so this ribbon is 6 inches, and then I had another 4-inch piece for my bow. So 6 inches and 4 inches. All the measurements are going to be in the description box below, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so let's add this to our card. And for the bow, I typically will use glue dots. I just take the bow, stick it on top of the glue, and then add it to my card. And I always will make my bows for classes with longer ribbon here so they can decide how they want to cut the ribbon. If they wanted to cut it off this, like it is here, or if they want to fold it and cut it so they have a banner-like end on their ribbon. So what we're going to do now is we are going to add our sentiment pieces. So for this, all I'm going to do is to lay my card flat like this. And we're going to put adhesive just right here. Remember, we had moved this so that it can bend. And I want to match the edge here with the edge of my card. So I'm going to hold this down and put this right on top of that area, and I'm looking to see, do I have the same amount at the top and the bottom? And I'm going to push. And you see, by putting the adhesive just here, this is free so that you can open your card. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to place this one over here. And I had some ladies decide that what they wanted to do, it's going to end up being this way. So what they did was they put their adhesive on. Hang on. They put their adhesive on here, and then they closed their card. You can do that. I wanted to make sure that it was going to be straight. So I kind of brought mine down like this so that I could line it up straight at the edge. You want to make sure this covers over. There's your card. Now I just want to add a little bit of bling. And what we're going to add are these really pretty gems, and they're called the 2026 to 2028 in color dots. And I think I'm going to just add one here, one here, and one here. Oops, it's stuck to my hand. Come on. There we go. All right. I can also trim these. You really want a good pair of scissors to do that. I keep a pair of scissors that are just for ribbon, and I tie a ribbon on it so that everybody knows that they can only cut ribbon with it. When my kids were here at the house, I hid the scissors so they wouldn't use them. All right, so here we go. Here's our card. And again, thanks to Dawn for sharing the idea. Hip, hip, hooray. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday. Well, that's our card for today. I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. And thanks for watching.